Hello everybody, welcome to Best of British Blackwell. We've got a real treat in store for you today. I'm going to be making some ribs and some smoked chicken on my brand new offset smoker. I'll show you a little bit more about that in a moment. These kind of barbecuing and smoking devices are really taking off in the UK at the moment. So I'm going to show you my one, it's brand new. I'm going to show you how to start the fire in it, and I'm going to also show you how to kind of maintain the temperature in there as well. But first of all, let me talk you through what we're going to be putting on there today. I've got these lovely racks of ribs from the local butcher. All I've done with these so far is rub them with olive oil, honey and Worcester sauce. That's to try and keep some of that moisture in there. A little bit later on I'm going to be applying some rub. I've made my own barbecue mixed rub, which is a lot of cayenne pepper. There's some chicken seasoning in there, there's some pepper in there, there's some salt in there. There's a couple of other bits and pieces as well. I'll tell you all about that a little bit later on. As for the chickens, I'm going to be spatchcocking these, so kind of breaking the backbone on them, opening them right out. That's going to allow me to get some more seasoning and some rubs on there. You know, it gives you a greater surface area. It's also going to enable you to cook these chickens a bit quicker on that smoker. I've got some Old Bay seasoning. All our American friends will know this very, very well. It's wonderful with chicken. I've also got some Food Rub Company Carolina rub, which is going to go on here. And then finally, when these chickens are nearly done, just some bog standard barbecue sauce is going to go on them. And then finally, when these ribs get towards done, I'm going to wrap them in some silver foil and put some barbecue sauce on those as well. So next time you see me, I'm going to be rubbing up these ribs and the chicken, and then after that I'll show you the offset smoker and how we're going to get fire going in that. So let's start getting these ribs rubbed up with some dry rub. As I said before, these ribs have already had some honey, olive oil and Worcester sauce on them. Now, that's for two reasons. The honey's going to sweeten up, well, it's for a number of reasons actually. I mean, the honey's going to sweeten up the meat. If it stays on there, it's going to be lovely and sweet. The Worcester sauce is on there to give it a little bit of acidity. And the olive oil is on there to help hold on to this stuff, which is the dry rub. You know, the whole idea is that you dry these out with the rub, so you need something moist for it to hold on to. And this stuff's going to stick to that really nice. Let me just talk you through what's in here. This is a mixture of cayenne pepper. There's some chicken seasoning in there, so some Old Bay chicken seasoning. There's some chili powder in there. There's a very, very small amount of Chinese 5 spice. There's some salt, there's some pepper, and there's some smoked paprika. This is my own personal recipe, and it is wonderful. And I'm going to be very, very generous with this. So what you want to do is use a nice big tray like this, because it will pick up the excess as well. Just put your rub on there and really start to massage that into the meat. This stuff is just going to be excellent. It's going to permeate all through this lovely pink rib meat. Don't be scared to get your hands dirty. You've got a nice working area in this pan. So rub that in. As you can see, the ribs are a little bit bigger than the pan is, which is always a good thing because it means there's lots more meat. And rub them in, and then also you want to make sure you get it in the sides down here as well. So I'll be pouring a little bit on the sides. Just have a look at the back here. I am going to put some rub on here because there's a little bit of exposed meat there, but I haven't cut the membrane off the back of these pork ribs. Some people do, to be honest with you. I just find that a little bit too time consuming, and actually if you smoke the ribs for long enough you will get the flavour through that membrane eventually. You just need to be patient. But if you were cooking these ribs in the oven maybe, or on the barbecue maybe, then you know I would consider taking the membrane off there, because you're not going to get much flavour through there. But because we're going to be putting these in the smoker for 5 or 6 hours, the flavour's still going to get through there anyway, so I wouldn't worry about that. Let me continue to rub this other one up, and then I'll show you the offset smoker that they're going to sit on. So here it is. This is my offset smoker. It's brand new. It wasn't too expensive, didn't set me back too much money. Very, very easy to put together as well. As you can see, it's got two main components. You've got the smoking drum there, which is obviously like a big oil barrel drum, and the smaller drum on the right hand side is the firebox. Let me talk you through how this works. So first of all, you have this little smoking drum on the side here. What you do is you prepare your charcoals, you get a fire going in there, and you put some smoking woods on there. I'm going to be using cherry wood today. I'll show you a little bit more about that later. Basically, this contains the fire, the smoke from the fire, when you close this door, comes through this chamber here and up and through the meat. It's a very, very simple, basic principle, but it works really, really well. Either side of the smoker you've got air vents, and you've also got a chimney here so you can keep an eye on the smoke levels in there, and you've got a basic thermometer on the front. When we get this started up a little bit later on, I'll show you some techniques to maintain the heat and to maintain the smoke levels in here. I'll be honest with you, because this is brand new to me, I'm going to be learning as much as you are, so it will be a little bit hit and miss, but this is what we're going to be working with. So I've now lit the offset smoker, and the way you do that is you start a very basic charcoal fire in the fire bin. I haven't used the chimney today because one, I don't have one, I've ordered one and I'm waiting for it to be delivered, and two, I had a bag of instant lighting charcoal which I wanted to use up, and it's actually taken quite well. So I've just put the bag inside there. I'll zoom in a little bit for you so you can see. I've just put the bag inside the smoker and it's taken really nicely. I'm just going to wait for those coals to go nice and white, and when they're white, that's when I'm going to start to add some wood. So the cherry wood logs have caught really nicely now. I'm happy that they're really set, so I'm going to go ahead and close this lid to the offset smoker down. Careful not to burn myself. The vents are still open, and you will see that in a couple of seconds the heat from the offset smoker or the offset barrel is going to start to move into the chamber of the actual oil drum. So if I position this camera correctly, you should be able to see the temperature here is going to start to rise. There we go, rising quite steadily. We're going to be aiming to get this at about 350 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a good temperature. I'm very impressed to see the smoke already coming out of the chimney here, which I will pan out and show you. There we go, some really good smoke coming out. And in terms of temperature controlling, what you can do is, I'll take this camera off of the stand here, excuse me 1 second. You've got some vents. You have a vent down here, which I've got all the way open at the moment, and I can close that. And you have another vent around here, which again is all the way open, but I will start to close that down as and when I need to control that temperature. But at the moment, we're still steadily rising. I'm not sure you can see that. It's about 250 degrees. And it's still rising. So I'll leave that to settle for a little while, and then we'll think about putting some meat on there. Now we're going to put some meat onto this smoker. I've added a little bit more wood to it. We're getting a really good amount of smoke in there. I'm going to put the ribs on first. As you can see in front of the smoker here, I've got my temperature probes. I've got this little wireless device here, which is very good. At the moment I've got the probes set either end of the smoker to give myself a decent reading, and we've got a nice even temperature throughout. Both probes are reading 88 degrees, which is about spot on. It's a little bit warm, but that will drop down because I've just added some wood to it. I will keep one of the probes on the grill so I can keep a very accurate temperature. I will work that out for you guys in Fahrenheit as well if needs be. The second probe I will use for the meat as and when it starts to approach cooked. But this meat's going to go on for about 5 hours now. It's getting on for midday, so about 5 o'clock tonight these ribs will be ready. So let's get them on. Now as you'll see, I've got membrane side down first. That is the part that I want to cook out first and get those juices running through the meat. Let's close this down. Now we leave that. We let that get back up to temperature. We leave it. I'd leave that for at least an hour. All you're really looking for here is keeping a very close eye on that firebox, making sure that you're not running out of wood, making sure that as and when the wood burns down, you put some new wood on and you generate some more smoke. It's a nice slow cooking approach. As you can see, the grill's just getting back up to about 70 degrees now. It's going to stay at around 80 degrees, and you just slow cook these for a long time. I'll give you some updates as we go through the course of the day. We are 2.5 hours into the cook now, and as you can see, the ribs are going really well. They've got a lovely colour. That rub that we put on there has got a really nice dark kind of colour. I've added some barbecue sauce to those as well. The chickens, which I spatchcocked again, I applied some lovely rub to those. I started cooking them skin side down first, and now they're skin side up to get the insides all done. And because I've had a few more people say that they're going to turn up to try this stuff today, I've thrown on a couple of chicken pieces as well that have just had some honey and mustard on them, and they've only really just gone on there, so I'm not expecting those to be done for quite a while yet. The chicken's still got a little way to go. Let me turn it over so you can have a good look at it. As you can see, I mean, juice is just falling off of this, and they collect at the bottom of the tray here. You know, but this isn't far off done. They're looking really nice, and they're staying nice and moist as well, which is exactly what we want. The ribs, I am a little bit concerned that the ribs are kind of done already, so I've taken those away from the hottest part of the grill, which is over here, obviously where the flames come in, or where the firebox is, and I've moved them over to this side because I did kind of catch them a little bit. But you know, that's all part of the learning curve. This is a new piece of kit for me, and I'm learning to use it just as much as I'm showing you how to use it. So there we go. I'm probably going to give the chicken another couple of hours, and I may take the ribs off an hour earlier, so they'll have 4 hours in total. But I'm going to keep basting those with the barbecue sauce, and I'll give that chicken on the right hand side there some coat of sauce as well. But so far so good. Okie dokie, so welcome back. We've had these ribs in the offset smoker for about 5 hours. They're done, and we've also had the chicken in there for about 3.5 hours. So come over and have a look, and let's see what we managed to do with this. So I'm going to turn this over because I've got the membrane facing upwards. Look at those, they are about perfect, I think. So I'm just going to cut these up into pieces. I need to find the bone. There we go. I'm going to cut them up into a few pieces so I can show you exactly how they came out. Sorry, I'm not doing a very good job of cutting these. But there we go, through there eventually. I think I may have cut through a little bit of bone or a little bit of cartilage there. But here we go. Oops. I'm just going to get my hands in here. And there we go, look at those. So the red around the outside is what's known as the smoke ring. That's where the smoke has permeated through the meat, and the meat on the inside is lovely and still nice and moist. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave those to one side. I'll continue to cut those up in a minute. Also, while we're here, let's have a look at this chicken. So I did some chicken pieces, which are also done, and they are perfect on the inside. And then I did some spatchcocked chickens. You cut those open, they're perfectly moist on the inside as well. I'm going to cut these up, take them outside, and see what the party guests think of them. See you in a minute. Paul,
yes.
How are you getting on with it?
Really good. I'm loving the chicken. It's very succulent. Lots of flavour, Tom.
Lovely.
And the ribs are so sweet.
Bang on.
You couldn't have, it falls off the bone. Couldn't have got it.
Lovely. John, how are you getting on over there, mate?
Handsome, mate.
Handsome.
Thank you very much.
Lovely. Kath?
Absolutely delicious, really tangy ribs.
Good. Betty, how are you getting on? Did you like yours? No. Eileen, how are you getting on over there?
Beautiful. No.
Lovely. There you go, everybody. That is the smoked chicken and ribs in the offset smoker. Cheers.